What? What? Gorsh, with his bare hands, spliced together a fiber cable to get his internet back? Who is he, MacGyver? I've got a deck building video right now for my modded deck, and I can't have him watching. Looks like we need to move to Plan B. Alright, so we're looking at Corp, my modded Corp. I'm playing Blue Sun. And this one here, I like some of the stuff that's going on, but this thing putters out so bad about mid-game. If I can get, so let me go ahead and give you some of the ideas behind this deck right here, right? So I wanted to have as few card slots taken up for agendas as possible for multiple reasons. One, I wanted to be able to add some other items into my deck and have more of other utilities to utilize, as well as have less of a chance for my opponent to grab an agenda, right? When they do grab an agenda, there's a good chance they're going to grab one that's more potent, but one of the ones that I have in the deck, 3 of them, is this SDS drone deployment, which I absolutely love this agenda. It's probably, I just now found out about it just recently, and it is a Ashes card, but it is one of my favorite agendas, probably top 5 easily, maybe even top 3. And what it does is when the runner steals it, then they have to trash it. They get to pick which program they trash. When you score it, you get to pick what program you trash from them. So it's just a beautiful it's one of the 3 of the 8 agendas I have. The chance that they get it, and that kind of can set them back, especially if I can score it. If they steal it, if they don't have a lot of programs, then they have to pick the one of their breakers probably. But a lot of times runner decks are running things like Tapworm these days, which gives you, I think, $1 for every 5 credits the Corp has, and different utility programs like Rizeki and things like that. So they're able just to go ahead and trash those money programs and keep their breakers up, while I'm trying to like get rid of those breakers to kind of give me this another window to go ahead and push out another agenda real quick, right? So that's kind of my thought process with that. Again, who knows if that's valid or not. That's probably a reasonable approach. The problem with this deck is all of the supplementary cards here. Some of them are working well for me. Others are not so much. So just to go over a little bit more than even I did with the runner deck previously in my last video, what I'm kind of doing with this deck, because I really want people to help me with this one. Again, if you go back and watch my videos, my modded 826 video, and even my first game night, I used that modded deck the whole time. This deck works like, I think I get a win with this Corp deck in round 3, but otherwise it is just atrocious. So the first card, so I've got these Contract Killer and the Daily Quest. I added Contract Killer because I wanted to have a little bit more trap type stuff that I could make the runner kind of run on. If I start advancing, they run on it, they waste a bunch of money to get through ice. If they trash it, oh well, they just blew another $3. If I pull it off, I was excited to get 2 meat damage and trash a connection. The problem is, practically, I have not seen a ton of connections out there. And then even when I do, it's like, man, these runner rigs are so powerful already. Even if I trash the Katie Jones, it's like whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they're still got this engine running full force. So I'm getting rid of the Contract Killer. I haven't used it one time. I've just thrown it out there and hadn't rezzed it and just made them spend $3. So there's got to be something out there that's better. The next one that I've seen that I'm going to get rid of is, I've seen everybody utilizing this this card, and I really think it's a great card. But the problem is, in this deck, I'm really trying to build up a remote server pretty strong, and I don't always have the time to put out another piece of ice and put this behind it in another server with the kind of direction I'm going with this deck. So I think that it needs to go away, and I got to find something to replace it with, right? So that one's definitely going away. And as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and do those now. Let's see, MBN, we are in assets. Okay. Getting rid of daily quest, getting rid of contract killer. That gives me 3 more card slots and 3 more agenda. I like this one right here a lot. This one's really cool. You put it out, you res it. You can click once per turn to gain $2. If they ever trash it, you get $2, and they had to spend 3 to trash it. So it's just a way to get a quick boost of money anytime you need it. And if they actually trash it, it's almost a 5 money swing, right? They lose 3, you gain 2. So I really like what's going on with that. Public support. This one right here I enjoy because I force them to come in and trash it. I've always res this one, which causes me to lose 2 money. But I start advancing. I have to check out that comment in a little bit. But I start advancing it each turn automatically, right? And then all of a sudden on the last round, they got to come in and trash it, or it becomes 1 agenda point, which works out well because really, in some ways, I've got Archer in this deck, so, and false lead that I can forfeit to do some bad stuff to them. So anytime I can get that extra point and possibly get false lead or hostile in there as well, that gives me that flexibility to be able to res Archer, or if I have a false lead, go ahead and forfeit it to get make them lose 2 clicks sometime whenever I really need them to, so that I can get my 2 3s and my 1. That's basically what I'm rolling for in this deck. I'm getting 2 3s and a 1. And the other thing I'm going for is just having some traps in here that I can just keep them guessing. I don't want them, I don't want it to be so straightforward that they know all I got to do is run and it's going to be an agenda if you advance a card. So I got a couple of snares in here. I actually want to game off a snare. I know it's not, they call it a cheesy snare because you've just pretty much put some snares into another faction's deck just to, just kind of have something there. But I'm going to keep those in there. They've won me a game already, and I'm just able to make somebody run on them, waste a click, lose 3 cards. It slows down their tempo. They think, oh man, this is a trap deck. I need to build my deck back up, when really my main goal is to score 2 3s and a 1, but I've got that trap thing going in the background there. Now, tiered subscription. I've thrown this out there a couple times. I like it because I get $1 every time they make a run. If they want to come trash it, they're dropping 3. So I spend a click to put it out there, which I guess you could say a click's a credit a card, right? But I put it out there for a click and res it for free. Now they've got to spend $3, and anytime they make a run, the first time, I get $1. So it's something that they've got to deal with. I'm at least going to make $4 off of this for 1 click. And by $4 off of it, I mean they're going to lose 3. I'm going to gain 1, no matter what happens. But if they don't get rid of it right away, that money could be better. So I like that. Wall to wall, I probably need to drop this wall to wall down to 2, honestly, because I keep on getting a lot of those. And after you get the first one out, it's a unique card, which means I can't have more than 2 res, and I keep on forgetting that. And when you put that card out there, now all of a sudden, if you don't have any other cards res, which is kind of happening a lot in my deck because I'm really going more for a Glacier 1 server style thing there, then I can do 3 of these actions, and so often it's draw a card, gain $1, and place 1 advancement token on a piece of ice. I probably need to get more advanced, which I have a good number of them. It just don't always work out whenever I'm ready to roll wall to wall, having those ice out there yet, right? So then hedge fund, we all know about hedge fund. The Corp's Sure Gamble, love this card. Always excited to get it. IPO, this has been a great combo several times. I get hedge fund to IPO. I'm off to the races. Really enjoy having these 6 cards in here. The NAPD Cordon. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. I just recently obviously found out about it as well, but it has helped me with this vulnerability audit. This is a great combo. 3 clicks, install vulnerability audit, advance it 1 time, throw out a NAPD Cordon, which basically says the runner must pay 4 plus 2, so they're paying 6 more money when they even get to the server and access it. So if I have a good wall there, and even if they got 20 credits, I could potentially make them spend all the way down to 5. And that happened in round 3. If you go and watch that game in round 3 of the game night video, you'll see I pulled this off. And I've done it before too, off camera. But it's just so fun to see when he got to the end of that server and he needed 6 money to steal it, and all he had was 5, and I was able to go ahead and finalize that and win the game. It's just a great one. Highly recommend you add that to your deck if you're dealing with any type of you know, kind of deck similar to this. Let's see, Oversight AI. This obviously goes well with this this identity, because this identity can pull back a card after their turn starts. Pull back a res card. Oftentimes that's ice. So if I use Oversight AI for a buck to res a 10 cost Hadrian's Wall, and he doesn't break all the subroutines on that ice that turn, I bring that back at the beginning of my turn, get 10 bucks, and then I put that Hadrian's Wall out there, and now I got more flexibility of how I spend that bucks, right? So that's just a great one to have in a Blue Sun deck. It's a staple of probably most Blue Sun decks, but don't quote me on that, because I'm sure there's people who probably don't run them and know exactly what they're doing. But for us noobs like me, it's a crutch. You put the Oversight, as long as Oversight's legal in your format, it goes in all of my Blue Sun decks. Maybe not 3 of them, but definitely at least 2. So, all right, Punitive Counterstrike. This is one that really I probably need to remove out of here as well, because the only way I'm getting, I need to see if Post Bounty is in the card pool, right? Let me check this out. Posted Bounty is not. So there's no way for me to give him a tag except for with a snare, right? So it's going to be a very limited chance of me actually getting him a tag so that I can pull off. Wait. Oh, my bad. No. This is, man, I'm getting off on a, yeah, I missed that. So Punitive Counterstrike is if the runner made a run and scored an agenda last turn, you can do this Trace 5, so you need more money than him. You can do it, or at least the same. You can do a Trace 5. That will allow you to do double the damage of what he stole. So if he stole a 3-pointer, actually I'm going to leave this bad boy in here, because I need to have this one. Actually, I need to add another one of these, because if he steals a 3-pointer, let me make sure I'm right on that, or is it the same? Equal to, no, my bad. It is the number equal to the number of printed agenda points on the agendas. But if he stole 2 3s, then I could use one of these to do 6 damage. But if he just stole 1 3, I'd need 2 of them to do 6 damage. So I'm actually going to go ahead and in place of those card slots, I'm definitely going to add an additional Punitive Counterstrike. I almost want to do 3 of them. I'm going to hold on to 3 of them for now. Secure and Protect. Search R&D for a piece of ice and reveal it. Shuffle R&D after searching it. Install the piece of ice protecting central server, paying 3 less. That's pretty good. I haven't pulled it off too much, and the click cost is expensive to me. I'm sure I'm just incompetent with it and don't know how to use it, but taking almost a whole turn to get a piece of ice out there, even though you can go and find the one you want, I honestly don't have any ice that interesting to where I'm like, oh, I need this specific ice a lot of times, which is the problem. And that might just be, once again, my incompetence in the fact, right? Chrysium Grid. You know what? I'm going to go... What I had here is I had this one to do some more net damage. I just want to give him the feel that, man, this guy's trying to chip away at me. This guy's trying to kill me, right? But I don't think I'm really like purveying that, or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Anyway, I don't really feel like I'm, you know, showing that to them to where they really feel threatened a lot of times. So I think I'm going to remove that and go with 2 Chrysium Grids. This is important for cards like Stargate, to where if you're successful, cards that say if you made a successful run, you get this, diversion of funds, any of those like that, that say if it's a successful run, you get to do this instead of accessing cards or anything like that. This one right here is a nice deal breaker for that. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to upgrades real quick. And I'm going to go 2 Chrysiums. And let me get Genteki here and drop that Hakusai grid down. Cool, cool. Let's see here. Aket. Hadrian's. So now I've got several agendas. This is one thing I love about Wayland is they have the ice that you can advance. I really enjoy that dynamic. It's, you know, I'm not good at it necessarily most of the time, but man, it's just fun having the ability, especially with wall to wall, where you can advance a card for free to start to build up those ice to where you can do stuff. And as far as archetypes, as far as I understand them, and please, if somebody knows better than me, please correct it. But there's really, for the most part, 2 main ones, and that is Wayland Glacier, where you get a remote server and you put 5, 6 ice on that bad boy. 4 maybe might be all you need, but you build up that one strong server and you roll with it, right? You just keep on pumping agendas in there and scoring them and taxing that runner and making him spend all his money to get through them. You know, that's kind of a standard of Wayland. And the other one is a kill deck. They've in the past been good at tag and bag, which is, you know, you score, you do the sea. If you watch my Netrunner tournament, you'll see me do the Sea Source into a Scorched Earth combo. That's pretty standard, as well as the punitive counter strike. And now we've got the hard hitting target. Is it? Let me look at that real quick. That's an operation, right? Let's see if that's in this card pool, because I'd like to add it. I don't believe so. It's in the, I believe it's in the Katara cycle. It is something high profile target, I believe is the name of it. I love that card. I wish it was in this card pool because I'd be running that like crazy. I'd have to find some way to tag them more than these 2 snares I got though. Anyway, Hadrian's Wall. This is pretty much my money right here. And it can be advanced. Like I've used this multiple times to bump it up to 8, 9 strength. So that especially good against the paperclip, because now they have to spend more to get through it, right? I really like that a lot. The advancement of this to get the strength up. But there's another one that costs 14 that is better if it's in the card pool, and I need to check that real quick. Let me see. Is it called a Janus? Let me get rid of all but the Wayland stuff here. Oh, it is Trebuchet. That would be a pretty good one to add into the deck. When you res this, take 1 bad publicity. Trash 1 installed runner card. Trace 6 if successful runner cannot steal or trash Corp cards for the remainder of the run. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people running this Trebuchet. I think I need to add that possibly to the mix, and it's a 7-bucker that I can utilize, give me some flexibility there. So cleaning that up. All right, I got 49 cards now. Let's see, the Aket. We've got a barrier. We got several barriers. I got the 3 in here because they're the way I can get money. But again, with cards like, that's why that Janus, I believe it's a Janus, is really good because it has 3 subroutines on it with the boomerangs. With the boomerangs so prevalent in the meta, you're dealing with, as soon as you try and throw this out, even the first turn, you're taking a chance of them coming out with that boomerang, taking care of those 2 subroutines, and due to oversight AI, if they break all the subroutines on it and in a single encounter, it gets trashed along with your oversight AI, which means you ultimately just wasted 2 clicks and $1, right? You wasted a click to install it, and if you install it at a higher level than the first slot, you're paying for each you know, ice before for the install cost as well. So 2 clicks and at least $1. Possibly more depending on where you're placing that Hadrian's Wall with your ice, right? And then Sandstone, I like this one because it's just cheap and it starts off strong. It's just a nice one to get out there first thing. And then finally Spiderweb. I didn't know how much I liked this card until I realized the 3 subroutines is very valuable for Boomerang, right? And it's expensive with weak strength, but until they get that breaker, until they get that barrier breaker out there, this one is almost vital to give you any chance of keeping runners out, especially if they're running 3 boomerangs. code gate side of the house. I really like this one because it's just taxing on the runner every time they hit HQ, because they can only break one of the subroutines. Whoredom, I love some Whoredom because even though I haven't really got to pull it off this time, I've had other decks that I was able to advance ice more often. It was a Jinteki deck I was running, and you get that up to 3 strength, and it costs them 4 credits, and it ends the run, but it also does some extra stuff. I really like that, just as from a board game perspective, not necessarily me knowing how to use it or how good it is competitively, but I just really enjoy the effect of being able to advance it 3 times, and then an AI can't break it, and an AI breaker can't break it, and it adds strength to it. I like that a lot. I got the one archer, like I said, that costs you an agenda to res, but you can use oversight AI to get around that. The problem is you're showing your hand when you use the oversight AI. Now you res that, you're not going to want to necessarily bring that back because you're only getting 4 money, and now you've got to put it back out there and res it again by trashing an agenda anyway. So it's kind of like you're really using the oversight AI to set that out there, but now it kind of, nobody's going to run on it until they get a sentry. So it's only a matter of time for they're like, okay, I need a sentry breaker, boom, got it, we're ready to roll on this thing, and it's useless now, and then they go in and break it and destroy it. So you really got to use the agendas. And that's why I got public support in here, as well as a couple of ones, hoping to get at least 2 of those if I really want things to go right and need to use this archer, right? I need at least 2 of these to get in my agenda pool so I can actually use the archer for one of them. Man, it's popping off. I appreciate y'all. Hope, like I said, I hope I continue to provide content that's valuable to people. That's what I really want to do. I don't want to just, throw stuff out to throw it out. I'm really trying to learn myself, and I'm hoping to just grow the community and encourage other people to take it to the next level, right? Keep working, keep training to be better at what you want to do, with the game. So, but I meant to go back, and I wanted to talk about one other archetype that I've kind of seen recently, and this might have been out there longer than what I thought, but it's it's not a full on, but it's a sort of actually fast advance with the Wayland faction. There are some cards out there that can move cards can move advancement tokens from other cards, and there's a few of them in the Wayland faction, as well as you've got some in Jinteki and all that's been there. Even I think Trick of Light's rotated out now, but I might be wrong on that. But anyway, there are some fast advance options for Wayland. You don't see them as often, I don't think. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not sitting out there watching everybody's games, but from what I saw in a lot of tournaments, I didn't see a whole lot of Wayland fast advance. But again, don't quote me on that because I didn't watch every game in the tournament. So, but there is that option, and I just got wrecked by, who was it? And you'll hear me on one of my videos. I think it was actually maybe the modded tournament, the modded 826 video. I was like, wait a second, you can't be playing fast advance with Wayland, because I'm just not used to that, but I think it's actually, it might have been around longer. Somebody let me know about the history of Wayland fast advance and some of the options in the comments if you want to educate us all. I'd love to get that quick education on that and kind of add that to my brain housing group here. And then finally, we got Cadius. This one's a good early one that I really enjoy, that ultimately, if they don't want to spend, it's a really good first ice to get in your hand, because you put it out there, they got 5 money on their first turn, they run on it, they got to choose whether to do that 3, and if they do the 3, then they don't have enough to beat the end run, and you get rid of them. But a lot of times they don't want to spend the 3 for the first trace, so then you get 3 more bucks, and then you can spend money on the second one to keep them out and basically be back to even just about, or you could let them in and make a little money. I haven't really worked out the specifics of all that, and that might be why I keep losing, because like I said, there's a difference between knowing what a card does and really understanding how to utilize it in different scenarios. And maybe even, it might not even be in different scenarios, it might just be doing something different this one time, unexpected. Sometimes you can do, like last night, I just went by the seat of my pants. I played in the Jumpstart tournament last night. Just to let you know, I know I'm getting on another side tangent. But anyway, I didn't play in the tournament, but I signed up for the Riteki and everything and went out there and played a game. And man, that deck was cool. And it forced you to play with so many new cards. And I pulled out a win. I couldn't believe it. But it was because I had no worries. I was just going and I was like, whatever will be, will be. And I went for some stuff and I did stuff differently and took chances that I normally wouldn't take because I didn't have any fear of losing necessarily because I thought I was going to lose anyway. And I ended up winning because I just went outside and did something I normally didn't do, especially if you're playing people you know. Doing that helps, but even sometimes doing something that you're just like, I'm just going to go for it, sometimes it's just the person, it's not in the norm of what people normally do with particular cards, right? So they've kind of, there's a certain baseline of how people use particular cards, and so there becomes this normative kind of understanding of what people are going to do with them. And even if you don't do it every time, but every once in a while you just do something a little different, it can catch people off guard, right? And so that's the part of Netrunner, especially on the Corp side, that just has you having to just get a feel for it. And sometimes you're going to go for it and you're going to make those moves and you're going to be like, blunt, they didn't fall for it, I'm screwed, right? So that can happen as well. Now, Trebuchet, I don't know much. I don't, but I know I've seen this in many decks, modern day decks. And whenever I'm watching Metropole Grid, whenever somebody reses a Trebuchet, people get real excited around here. So I just want to get excited too. And I'm going to sit there and add this to my deck and probably fumble around with it. And it'll probably lose me the game because I have no clue how to use it. But hopefully I figure it out and I can make some moves here and add that as a little bit of a force in this deck. So right now, this is where I stand. I made some minor changes to this. I feel like they might give me the extra oomph I need, but I could be wrong. So I'm looking for you guys and gals, anybody, to help me tell me, again, modded, it's in the modded tournament. So I'm looking at System Core 2019 and Ash's Cycle. Grab that card pool on Netrunner DB, look around at some cards, tell me what you think I might could swap out in here to make it better. Again, I'm going for that 3-3-1, and there's really hardly any chance that I can flatline somebody. Well, I've actually added the punitive counter-strike. So if I can get 2 of those in my hand at the beginning of the game and they score a 3 and I got more money than them, then it's boom boom. And that is possible. I could pull that combo out. I think this is a more reasonable combo than the Contract Killer, which I had no clue how to do, and that Daily Quest. So I think I made a better move, but there might be better. So let me know before this weekend so I can tweak it. Even if you do it after this weekend, you know, I got another week of modded coming up the following week. And so if y'all want to help Gorsh out, you know, just don't help me until after my games with Gorsh, and then tell me what you saw and what you think I could do better. You know, I'm good with that too, because I don't want to get some crazy advantage on Gorsh. I want it to be mono and mono. Me and Gorsh, let's do this. And I'm excited about it again this weekend. We got the modded tournament. Me and Gorsh matched up for a second time. Went 1-1, runner split the first time. And I'm excited to see what's up this time. See if I've made my decks any better. See if I've improved any. See if Gorsh has been training out there as well. And see if it's just some good Netrunner at the end of the day. That's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I've been blabbing on far too long. But I did do a more extensive review of my deck to not only help with maybe some new players who are looking at cards, but also to kind of show people who might be interested in providing some suggestions what I'm going for and what my mind state is on the deck. All right, so catch you later. Catch my tournament games. I'm doing almost all of them this weekend, which is why I've been trying to put out some other content this week. So be looking out for all that coming real soon. Y'all take care, and it's been a blast once again.